Hey guys, back again with another big box kit. This week we're going to be looking at Bandai's 1/5000th scale Imperial Star Destroyer kit. Now, this particular boxing is the limited run lighting edition, which includes a LED set for it. So let's open her on up and take a look. Again, if you could not tell, very large boxing for this kit. All right. So we'll start with the two main hull components, specifically this upper hull piece. Now, overall, they've gotten look and shape down. Only area I'm really have a complaint with are these turbo laser batteries here. They're a little wimpy in my opinion. I think they could have done it better if they had had it as a separate component, possibly even as photo etch parts. I think that would capture detail a lot better. I do know a company called Green Strawberry is putting out photo etch sets for the various Bandai releases of their Star Wars kits. So I am interested to see if they do a set for this kit as well. Another thing you will notice on some of these panels are these little holes. Hopefully this will show up on camera, but they have little holes drilled into them. This is for fiber optic cabling. They have done a smart choice and have pre-drilled basically all the holes. So you basically have to do no drilling on this kit to light it up, which is a very good thing. This, especially in this scale, will save immeasurable amounts of time, and you also don't have to worry about potentially screwing something up. So that is a very, very good thing. And much the same here on the lower hull, they do much the same treatment. Overall, fantastic cast quality. You can really tell they went to the studio model to research this guy. And overall, this should also give you a bit of a sense of size, as it's not super huge, but it does the trick. Could be a little bigger, but all things considered, it's not bad. Now, an interesting thing they did with this kit is that they reproduced some of the runners in clear. Now, this gives you an interesting choice, as you can either go the fiber optic cabling route, or you can paint and then selectively, scratch out small openings for your windows. It's an interesting choice. Personally, I'd lean more towards the fiber optic route, just because it's simpler, a little less that can go wrong. Because obviously, if you're going to be scraping away paint, you could damage something, and obviously, it's a lot harder to fix. But it does give you some interesting choices to make. Now, I'm going to defer reviewing the clear sprue, as that's going to be an absolute bear to do. So we'll move on to this additional sprue, as they do include this, as this is included on the separate sprue as a center section. But I guess they just couldn't fit in for size limitations or kit boxing limitations this as part of the main sprue, so they just included an extra. Includes one of the engines, our shield generator, and two of the sub engines, as well as another back piece. So overall, if you can look, the detailing on these little engines are quite good. Similarly with the shield generator, though, I do not understand why they decided to split it down the middle. Frankly, I think it would have been almost smart to do it as a single piece. As to me, that would strike as giving you less you have to clean up. especially in this small scale. Next up, we've got a sprue of internal parts for building up the stand and a lot of the inner guts of the kit. Obviously, since this is all nothing that's going to be seen, really, I'm not going to comment too much about it, but the fact that they do include an internal substructure is a nice addition. Next up, we've got our base. Again, not much to say here other than you're more than likely going to need it. Now let's move over to the other side. Can't believe I have to say that. Down. Now, here we got that sprue I was referring to earlier, this time in gray. Again, much as the upper hole, we have all the points drilled out for fiber optic cabling. Great there on Bandai's part. Now, obviously, this sprue covers building up the neck structure as well as the trench area and some of the hangar bays. Overall, again, just the level of detailing on this thing is quite impressive. Unfortunately, even 4K, I don't think it really captures just how fine and sharp the detailing is. They've done a fantastic job here. Everything is crisp and very well rendered. Even here on the top of the bridge section where the little shield generators go. Moving on, we've got now our back section as well as the base of the bridge plate. Again, very well detailed. Only area that really seems lacking is here in the engine section, which could use a little just odds and end type detailing just to give it a little bit extra attention. On this, though, there's not a lot I can really add that I haven't said already. Smart breakdown, and yeah. Hopefully this will not shift. I have to hold this. And this last sprue, we've got final build out for remainder or parts for the bridge section. Somewhat complicated, but should build up quite nicely. Now, moving on to the center, we also have a reduction and clear for some of those parts. Now, you can get this so it sits finally. Now, moving on to our lighting. Now, interestingly, they've gone with this single control unit with various plugins that are directly connected to our LED cabling. Now, all this is nice. However, my issue with it is because they've gone with this unusual type of plugging system. If you have an issue or a bad LED or what have you, it makes it a lot harder to replace it because you're basically tied into that. Now, if you're doing your own LEDs, now it's simple as unsolder it, put a new cable in, or swap out the LED. With this, you're in trouble. Now, interestingly, and this is where I take a little bit of umbrage, given the overall cost of this kit, it doesn't include any fiber optic cables. You're stuck to get those on your own. Given that you're given the options to do that route, you would think they would have included it, just because this is not a cheap kit. In fact, in prepping for this review, just by chance, I happened to come across listing for the LED unit a la carte, and that's basically $60 right there. So for what you're paying for this kit, you would think they'd also include those the fiber optic strands. So that is a major down point in my book for this kit. Now, as per Bandai's usual, you do get this sheet of stickers, some of which I believe is for helping to block out some of the light that's going to be coming from the LEDs. So that is something to be aware of. In fact, I'm almost certain almost all of this is just for blocking LED light. Now, for this kit, you're given two separate instruction booklets. One for doing detailing and modeling, and another for actually building it. So we'll start with this one, as it basically goes into some of the prep work they did for designing the kit, how to do a couple of odds and ends, and most impressively, they do show the opened up studio model. And this is where it does start talking about how to do the lighting, and thankfully they do tell you the size of the fiber optic runs you're going to need, which is about 0.5 to 0.25 millimeter. So that is something you're going to be aware of for sourcing for this kit. After that, it goes into how to sort of paint up and run all the strands, where you need to go, how to do it, and all of that. Fortunately, they don't translate it until this back section. So if you're looking through it and wondering, okay, what am I supposed to do? I can't read this. Translation's on the back. Now, as for just the basic construction, get this open. It does spend some time on the LED unit, what goes where, and thankfully they did color code some of the plugins, so that'll help you in the long run. Beyond that, it's pretty straightforward and simple construction. There's not a lot. If you built one Bandai kit, you basically built them all. They're pretty much, shake and bake. You can just sort of shake up the box and out will pop a model. But obviously, since you're dealing with all the LED cabling and all that, that is something to be aware of. One advantage of the LED unit I did not mention, since it is a plug-in type, you can get the advantage of being able to just have that top bridge section removable, and you can access the LEDs. Just leaves sufficient slack in the line. You can unplug it, take it out, put fresh batteries in, what have you, as opposed to having to run that cabling somewhere else. So moving on, obviously most of the hull construction, then you're building up the back and just sort of working from the ground up. The main hull and then the upper hull. So overall, there's not a whole lot to the instruction. Pretty straightforward. Again, painting, it's most part just your general gray. Thankfully, there's not a whole lot you need to do for this kit. So, overall, as much as I'd like to recommend this particular boxing of it, I really can't. And so you're paying a lot more, and for the amount you're getting, I don't feel it really justifies the cost. As the base kit, you're looking about 75 plus, and this one you're looking at least I got it at 130. So for that price, why the LED unit is a nice inclusion, I'd honestly say you're better off working with just the base kit and doing it yourself. Yeah, having all the fiber optic holes drilled is nice, but again, I honestly I can't justify the added costs. This was a real disappointment, at least to me. Not having those fiber optic cables and trying to source them is not the easiest thing to do, especially depending on where you live. If you don't have easy access, and finding them online can sometimes be difficult. And obviously, again, for what you get, the LED unit, to me, it doesn't strike me as being worth the $60. Rest of the kit, though, at the base version, yes, that all day long. It's a great, nicely designed kit. They've gone back to the studio model and pulled all the details from that directly. So Bandai has done a fantastic job researching and prepping, and it's a kit that will go together real easy. So that was a look at Bandai's 1/5000th scale Imperial Star Destroyer in their light added LED lighting edition. Great kit by itself, but I would say you're better off getting the base version. Until next time.